will the Sinners pick and ban here to get ahead of Solary? Let's find out.
Yeah, I mean,
I think coming in for the first ban, it should be a slowdown ban. Oh, they banned Slippy Slides, actually. So slowdown is open.
Instant ban there from
Carl and Pack Gyroscope.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Carl now pick slowdown. I don't know if there's anything else they'd rather start out with.
I mean, they have that line on slowdown that we haven't really seen any other team do, and it seems to save just a little bit. So hopefully they're gonna pick it, but maybe it's not the most important. Maybe they've studied Sinners.
Arrow pipes also looked great for them in the BDS game.
You also gotta think about, like, what's their mindset going into this? Like, is Solary so confident that they're not really worried, or?
Ooh, back and forth. Actually, the first pick, slowdown picked by Tween and. Tween and Kappa? That's crazy.
This is different than we expected it to go. Back and forth is not Solary's
It doesn't
best
seem
map.
like a Solary map. I would think Arrow Pipes. I would also maybe look at Reps as a map for them.
Yeah, I mean...
Just these like really technical heavy maps with not a lot of like weird tricks, flips, bug slides, backwards driving.
It's just, if I remember correctly, back and forth wasn't necessarily the best map going in for Solary, but okay, I mean...
Well, they played against Offie on it, so they basically couldn't win. We have Freestyle, the third map from Carl and Pack. Then we see Reps from Tween and Kappa, and now Carl gets to choose another map for his team here. The fifth map in the map pack. Reps coming through, though.
Reps is coming through. I think they're gonna... Yeah, Flip of Faith. There you go. As you said...
Parkour? Do we get Parkour, perhaps, as the last?
We're gonna have one more pick and then a random pick, right? So it's gonna be 2 out of these 3 maps that's gonna get played. Parkour, not one of them, though.
No, it will go to Agility Dash. They maybe have the stats on hand. What a map pack that is. Very surprising picks, I think, from Tween and Kappa. Kind of picking into Solary's strength, it looks like.
It kind of looks like it, but you could also say maybe those are the maps that they've spent the last week focusing on.
Yeah, maybe they have something prepared on them.
Yeah, exactly. Agility Dash, though, is a good pick, since Carl has really underperformed that map last time we saw him, but I don't know. We're gonna have to see how this plays out. This is very interesting coming in from both teams, and let's just jump into map 1.
Yeah, we're going on map 1. We're starting on back and forth. This map has seen quite a lot of changes on the leaderboard. When we saw it in week 1, it was 58.1, 58.2, so those were the great times. And then you had Offie excelling and going for 57.8.
Yeah.
On the leaderboards now, on the public leaderboards, there's a lot of players that's gotten down to 57.6, 57.7. And the current world record on the map is 57.60 from Massa. So the pace has gotten quicker just in this 1 week. They've looked at the line, studied the track. We're going to probably see several 57s in this game.
Yeah, but on paper here, like, if we see 57s, that's crazy. Because only one person has driven 57s during tournament yet. So if we see 57s, if anybody drives a 57, that's impressive. Like, that's crazy impressive. But on paper, Carl Jr. And Pack definitely have the better pace here. Both the better PBs and the better median times. So it's going to be interesting to see if Tween and Kappa show us something that we haven't seen yet. As we jump into the first round, we're already live.
We are into it. 1 round is underway. Let's see which team gets out to the best start here. Oftentimes winning the first round can set you up well. You've prepared for a week for this game, and just getting that relief of like, okay, we can beat our opponents is very satisfying. We have the skins loading in. There we go. In red, you see Solary, and in black and red, you will see the Sinners. Up to the identity now. Currently, it is Pack and Kappa battling. Pack clips that corner a little bit, clips another, leaving an opportunity for Tween to pass him. Perhaps Carl has lost that second place, and that could actually be an ace. If I'm reading the skins correctly, we will have name tags in 1 second here, but it is Kappa and Tween actually acing Solary round 1.
I mean, that's a great start. Great start against Solary. Getting a good ace right there. Currently just fixing some...
we need the name tags here. Sorry, somehow it does not work, even though I'm pressing the button. There was a problem in the Challenger League where the name tags did not work, and it looks, unfortunately, like that is the case here as well. So for name tags, we're going to have to hope that gets resolved. but I can tell you, and you can look at the splits as well to confirm, Kappa has worked on this map a lot. This is a very different Kappa than what we saw last week on this map. They could hardly drive without crashing, and now we see him again. Together with Tween this time, top 2.
Top 2, looking to see if they can get an extra ace in. Like 3-0 against Solary. Great. Oh, we have a first mistake of the day coming in as we head into the identity again. Kappa currently will be in the back. Tween will try to see if he can make this a draw. Identity time coming in right now. Cole Jr. on third place.
He's being sandwiched. Oh, but he gets a better inside line. Look at that. Into the pillars now. Tween is ahead. He could draw this round for his team. Just needs that last part, and he gets it. 900's ahead of pack, securing a draw for Sinners, who've gotten off to a great start. Great denial there.
Yeah, I mean, Sinners are performing well if the first 2 rounds have anything to say. But you never know. Maybe Solary just needs a little bit of a warm-up round, maybe 2 warm-up rounds. We haven't necessarily seen the pace that they can bring yet.
Yeah, it is. I feel still a strange pick here for Solary. I think if they are going for this, they need to deliver those 57s to really have a knockout blow on the map. 58.2 though, great consistency, 58.5 as well. Next round out, we see a lot of players adapting this line from Offie. You go wide before this plastic section to get 2 great bug slides there. Pack maneuvering upwards now, trying to catch up to Kappa, who again gets these good starts. The 360 is there, and now he needs to correct his mistake from earlier. Tween has made a big mistake. He's completely out of it. So it's a 1 versus 2 here. Kappa looking to pass Pack here and secure another draw. Tween could do it last time. Now he needs to step up. Pack holding on to that lead for about 0.10 of a second right now, but better lines from Kappa. Keyboard is slightly favored in this identity. Quicker steering movements, but Pack lining those nails up and hammering them down as he gets a 58.1, and the pace is slowly but surely coming through, as you said.
Low 58, definitely reasonable. Nothing wrong with that. 57s is what we want to see during the day, but you need some warm-up games. You need to just get in the groove. And right now, Solary is creeping up on Sinners in terms of points, 3-5. Nothing is over yet. We still have a lot of games coming in here on back and forth.
We do, and we see how valuable that ace is. Even though it's been a win here for Solary, if they win another, they still wouldn't catch up to the power of that ace. It gains you 3 points, and they still will hold the lead here. Even if Solary win 2 more rounds, it would be tied.
I really like Sinners' start. Like the start that Sinners have, they're consistently ahead, and now they're...
This is ace. This is ace potential.
Yeah,
Carl crashed again.
Carl also with a crash, and Pack also had a crash. They're not really going to make these jumps.
No, this is looking scary right now.
Tween and Kappa are going to be almost a second ahead right now. More than a second, almost 2 seconds ahead. And they see this on the left side of their screen. They're communicating it to each other. They're like, just save this. Get into the finish line. Don't make any huge mistakes here in the ending. Tween is the only person that might be able to get overtaken here by Pack. There's about 0.7 of a difference there. But if he just gets into the finish line without hitting one of these poles, and it looks like he's weaving through them
time from
just
Kappa
well.
Too.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to get it. And a low 58 there from Kappa is great as well. That's another ace for Team Sinners, and they're going to jump up to 8 points.
This is quite shocking. I don't think you go into this match and think Sinners will be up 3-8 here on map 1. That was picked by Solary. Out of all the maps, they had a first pick. They went onto this, and they're getting quite destroyed right now.
I mean...
But it's 2 aces, and it's so powerful.
That's the thing, right? And I am questioning why it is that they picked this map, because on paper, Solary was not great on this map. So, why? I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's the mind games. Maybe they're doing a strategy that I have not yet foreseen as we get into another round. Sinners...
Really close in the start here.
They could close it out.
Pack missed the jump there, so he falls down to 4th place right now. And Sinners only need a win. They only need 1 player to pass Carl in the identity. They have 2 that they can throw at him and try to beat the 5-time world champion. Going into the backwards part right now, both of them are slightly ahead by only half a car length. Kappa pushing in the vanguard, leading the charge for his team. Sinners, could they go up 1-0 on the map? Tween has crashed. It's all on Kappa to hold this against Carl, and he will. But will Tween get past? No. So that is Sinners taking map 1.
I mean, that's incredible. Honestly, an underdog story is coming to life right now. Sinners getting the first map. Like, this is also...
Sinners.
Yeah, this is the first map they've gotten since a week ago. Like, they didn't get a single map versus...
They lost 4-0 to Big.
Yeah, to Big.
And they played that map in that match.
So, I mean, great starting coming in from Sinners. You love to see it.
We have the replays coming through on the screen right now. Those wide lines have been adopted from Offie. People have learned from the master, who won 10 out of 13 rounds for BDS on this map in the first 2 weeks. Stunning performance. We're going to see them later today. And then, of course, as we're warming up right now, we're going on slowdown. This is the map that Sinners chose against Solary. And I cannot imagine any team daring to pick this against Solary with how dominant they were. But we have it here on the track. So
It's almost like they showcased the wrong names for the picks and bans, because this would be a map that Solary would play because they're honestly really good on this map, and a map that Sinners would not pick.
I could disclaimer here and say that it's a chance we have the names wrong, because it really feels like they're playing into each other's hands.
Yeah.
And it's likely. But anyways, the state of the matter is we have Slowdown as map number 2, and this is one Solary looked so good on last week. The world record here is a 56.5, I believe, from Mime. And we did see Carl and Pack drive 56.8 consistently. But look at this again. Tween and Kappa are in first and second in the first round here, making Carl and Pack really struggle on Slowdown, one of their best maps. We do know they do this line in the identity. You're going to see it in the uphill here. Quick line on the inside, but Tween is there too. Carl Jr. failed it. So it is a 2v1 right now, and Pack failed as well. That is an ace, Jnic, to start us off.
What is happening right here? Sinners really showing up. That is incredible to see. What a nice performance coming in from Sinners. Currently, an ace coming in, 3-0 for Sinners. This is the momentum you really need on a map like this.
I want to remind people that this is a repeat of the 2018 World Cup final between Pack, Carl Jr., Tween, and Kappa, and in that final, Kappa won. Tween got second, Carl got third, and Pack got fourth. So it could happen still 5 years later that this is how those players rank up. But really, Carl and Pack in the last few years have been stronger players. They have gotten more results, World Cup results and Trackmania Grand League results. But right now, as a team, Tween and Kappa are working beautifully together, saving when they have to and risking when they have to. Tween right now in 4th place, gonna try to catch up the best he can, but this is looking like Solary wants to have a say in how this map plays out. They're not gonna let Kappa get a win here for free. They're gonna push him to the line, try to get something in the identity. Here, Carl crashed last time, but now they both nail that inside line to overtake the lead. Last uphill, Pack gets a little bit more speed. Kappa going wide, and it's not gonna pay off. Pack takes the round for his team, and Solary are showing they're not out of it. 56.6 as well.
Not out of it quite yet. It's interesting to see that all the players are going for this inside tree line that we only saw Solary discover on the first week. So maybe more players, more teams have adapted that line because they noticed that it's a little bit faster. It's going to be interesting to see if we're going to see this map later in the tournament, maybe later today. And if anybody else has adapted that same technique.
We will find out. Again, a little bit shabby in the start here for Solary. Carl is a player that when he gets put under pressure in a tournament like that, he gets really nervous. He often performs excellently under pressure, but going into games, no matter which, he is often quite nervous before competing. And we're starting to see a little bit, I think, of that shine through here. Definitely maybe not expecting that Sinners would have this much pressure early on. Again, they're on the back foot here, Solary. They're 3rd and 4th. Sinners are looking for another ace into the identity, this extreme obstacle part that we see, and Carl is struggling, Pack is struggling as well. Is it going to be another ace? Not quite. Really close round.
They're getting more
points. 2/10.
They're getting more points. 6-3 is really good. Sinners are putting themselves in a very advantageous spot. So if they can maintain this pace, this consistency that they're bringing to the table right now, Solary could be in for trouble. Losing 2 maps in a row in the beginning has not just bad because you're losing maps, but also bad for the mental. Because that momentum that Sinners is going to bring into the 3rd map is going to be huge. We already have
from Carl.
One mistake here from Carl, which is going to give Sinners even better of an advantageous spot now. And Tween, currently on 3rd, did a little bit of a mistake, but he can come back, as we can see right there, overtaking just one person. It was his teammate, though, Kappa. Now Kappa is all the way back. Carl Jr. did overtake him, and Pack is going to maintain the lead. Hopefully, he can get this all the way through. Solary really do need the points. Kappa more than a second behind Carl Jr. at this point in time, and Tween needs to see if he can snipe that 1st place, but Pack will probably see if he can save this ending just enough to maintain the lead and get the points to Team Solary. It looks like it's happening. Yes, Pack maintains that lead. Tween gets second. Carl Jr. gets third, and Kappa gets fourth. 2 points for Solary. Sinners now still, they're at 7 points, and it's starting to look scary.
It is beautiful to see the pace too. Pack there in a round where he, has a comfortable lead, still drops a 56.6. And for context, that is just 1600ths from the world record, 56.48 by Barbos in the Challenger League. So amazing stuff there from Pack. They do have the pace. There's no doubt about their skill level on paper. But again, we do see some mistakes sometimes. And this time it is actually Pack, I believe, who crashed the wall and now leaving Carl Jr. with the task of trying to secure a draw, at least not an ace. An ace would let Sinners win the map. So here he has to fend off at least one of the two Sinners. Tween making a small mistake in that one drift, hesitating a little bit, making it now a 1 versus 1 battle for first place.
If they get this first place, though, that would give 2 points to Sinners. That's really, really close to winning the match here. And Kappa is trying to attack Carl Jr. Going for the wider line, though. He's going to have a little more speed going into this downhill, and he maintains that lead, and beautiful. He's actually going to keep first. Carl Jr. almost with the attack, but not quite there. And Kappa is going to maintain that first 56.7.
It's so close. It's literally, I don't know which line is faster there, but they are tethering the car in those up and down hills.
I'm also just letting you know that Kappa and Tween, they've played 12 rounds of this map, and Kappa's previous best in the tournament was a 56.9, so he's driving 0.2 faster than he's done in the last 12 rounds the last couple of times he's been playing.
It's crazy. We're seeing a really refined Sinners right now, not making many mistakes. They have some crashes, everyone does, but they're, for the most part, surviving the rounds and surviving them quickly. Now, though, at 6-9, they only need 1 point. Passing one of the two Solary players would do that. And Solary really need the ace here. They need first and second, and Pack is looking to get first, but Carl needs to hold on to the second place. That's where the battle is at. If just one of them beat him, they take 2 maps in a row against Solary, something I don't think anyone would have predicted. Tween looking for it right now. Carl right there, though. He's going to go for that inside tree line. Needs to hit it now and deny the match from ending. Going into the last part, they're both ahead, but Carl has a lot of speed. Is it going to be enough to pass them both? They both beat him, Jnic, and they are up 2-0.
2 maps for Team Sinners already. That is incredible performance coming in from Sinners. Solary with no points so far. It's such a weird sight to behold. And maybe we'll see this under Pack and Carl Jr. They've performed well on this map. At least better.
And Kappa and Tween was stumbling on this against Berlin. So I think it is indeed Solary's pick. But that being said, it's still going to be played regardless. And Sinners have put themselves in a beautiful spot after 2 maps. Can they do a third?
Hopefully they can as we go into the first map right now. Or the first lap of the third map. Sinners have won twice in a row, which is incredible showing by Sinners. And maybe they can even win one more. It would be incredible to see them full sweep Solary. It sounds like honestly a dream if that would happen, but you never know. Going into the middle section here, they want to hit that no steer block directly into the reset, and they all seem to have gotten it. They're so close already. We see 2 different lines coming in here. Maybe some people opt to go super high, some people opt to go a little bit lower. It all depends on your favorite playstyle. Going into the uphill here, want to cancel the slide and get a lot of speed as we go into the identity virtual.
One thing to watch out for in this identity is the gears. Look in the bottom right corner. You need to keep that 4th gear after this drift. If you don't, then you are not going to get as good wall ride flicks here. Gotta turn the car up, then down again, and as we see some mistakes, it is still Kappa in the lead here, looking for a draw. The second one as well. 4th gear necessary to get enough speed on these jumps, and you almost lose it in that downhill. If the speed ever drops below 200, you lose the gear, and they're at like 203.
It's really, really close, but 108.5 is not a bad time. We want to see the players drive a little bit faster than this, though. I think Gwen has the fastest time we've seen in the tournament so far with a 107.369. So we can see the players drive a little bit faster, hopefully.
Hopefully. We know they can do 107.3. That's what Gwen had last week, an amazing match time. And also, as far as we know, the world record on the track, unless any of these players have a better time in private. No steer being a problem there for Pack as he hits the wall. That is a very tricky part as well, lining the car up perfectly before you hit that no steering block. Now giving Sinners another chance here to try to beat Carl in the identity. We're going into the uphill here. Again, gears are important. If you're just getting into the game, It's an automatic transmission. The car will shift at different speed values and downshift at different speed values. So again, look for that 200 number. It needs to be above, needs to carry good speed around the corner. 203 for Carl is enough to stay in that gear, get the flick up, and try to pass Kappa. He has him on the first jump. Kappa, though, not too far to deny him on the second. Going up into it now, into the landing, and Carl remains ahead, and we are seeing almost Jnic 107.
Almost 107s, but still nice pace coming in. Carl Jr. Getting that victory for the team. Well, not victory, the draw for the team. Also really important. A 2-2 so far. Way more of a close match going into Freestyle. This is the type of map that we like to see, the type of map where both teams, they definitely can take it home if they just push themselves just that little extra bit. And right now, yeah, 2-2, great showing from both teams.
Yeah, and we also see in the start here, you might have noticed, some players go wide out there. It looks like they crashed or something. They're going for a wide dirt line, coming back with more speed. That is packed. This line saves maybe 500ths at most, and it's something he likes to go for. This time he nails that no steering section, but Carl has failed it, and they are not crashing in the same rounds here. They're constantly at risk of getting aced with one player making that mistake, and Sinners are looking clean so far. No crashes out of the start, at least. The identity has been a problem, though, and it is all now on Pack to try to stop them.
And this could be one of those aces we've seen Sinners get. Pack gets a lower line, sets him in front now, going into the identity, but Tween has a little bit extra speed, and he might be able to attack. Going for a low jump right now. Actually does get that first place. Kappa is going to stay a little bit behind,
so
but it's going to be between Tween and Pack. Who's going to be able to get that low line here in the ending? And Pack makes a slight mistake. Tween will take it home with a first 107.
Beautiful clutch there from Tween. Pack dared to jump low, and he clips the wheel as a consequence. 107.8 now. The level is constantly rising on this map as they're getting more and more comfortable with the lines, playing it time and time again. Let's take a look at that wide line just to see here how much they've studied the maps. Pack figured out that if you go out wide here in the start, you lose 0.2, but the speed you have keeps going. You still have the speed advantage all the way, still going until here, until the next drift starts. And it saves, as I said, maybe 500ths. But he is willing to go that close to the wall every time just to squeeze out that little bit extra Tween into the wall. Now it's flipped. Now it's Kappa with a lot of pressure on him.
Kappa with a lot of pressure on him. Pack, you can see just how low he goes. Gets earlier into the downhill, but enters it with a little bit less speed. Maintains the lead low. And now Kappa is going to be on task to see if he can get that first place. Squished here in between Pack and Carl Jr. A very, very scary place to be. But maybe Kappa can take it home. Tries to push it for the speed. Almost with the overtake. Will he get a low line? This does not look good for Kappa. He might be overtaking, but Carl Jr. or Solary going to get that ace they've been looking for the last two maps. It does look like they're able to. Kappa going for the 360, not getting it home. And Pack with 107.7. And Solary with that first ace of the day.
Oh, but it's so difficult when they both drive that sub 108 pace there, both Pack and Carl. Beautiful times, 6-4. This is the Solary people expected to see, and also honestly expected to see that every single round, but it's only now that we really feel like they're coming alive here.
That's true, but it's really nice to see from Team Sinners. If we look at the past matches, they've actually played this map quite a lot in the previous days of the esport, and it's the first time we see them drive 107, so they've practiced. That's really nice to see coming in from Team Sinners as well.
But if we have the pick and ban order reversed, then that would mean that this is Solary's pick, actually, and that Sinners are looking for the next map as the place to make their stand here. If they can get, you know, push Solary quite a lot and look for a win, that would be great. But if they don't have expectations of beating them here, then they're still performing great at a 6-4. Right now, they could actually ace them. Pack really close. Carl 0.2 behind. That's not a lot before the identity. We're going into it now. Again, looking for that fourth gear. All players have it. Carl barely keeping on to that gear. Tween looking like he lost it in the wall ride. That is dangerous now for the Sinners. Kappa still in second, looking to hold that position. Going for the 360 though, that's scary. Ooh, barely ahead of Carl in the 90 ace.
He must have checked the checkpoint before going into that last 360 to make sure that he could have it, because that is scary. You lose like 0.1, 0.2 from doing that 360. So,
but it's safer. it is safer. You guarantee the jump because you go higher. You're not going to jump
guaranteed,
too low.
true. And that might be why he went for it that last time where they got an ace, because he was just hoping for one of the Solary players to make a mistake, to save it into the finish. You never know. It is not a bad tactic to save. Consistency usually is better than pace most of the time on these rounds formats.
They are, and consistency also applies here. There's no steering part. We'll angle the car correctly. We see Pack into the wall in one of those dangerous spots, and that means that Solary will not be winning the map in this round, and Sinners with an ace could look for the comeback to an 8-8 scorelines. Right now holding on to first and second, but Carl has really gotten up to Carl pace in the identity. We saw him do great last time, catching up to both Pack and Tween there, Carl and Tween there. So let's see. So we're going into it now. Gear is there, just barely. And now the first flick. Is he gonna hold on? We see a mistake. We see two mistakes.
No!
This is actually scary because if they don't have the necessary speed here, then that could mean that Pack can overtake them. Oh yeah, I think we have a dangerous spot here. Pack is now coming up closer, looking to overtake at least one player, and they will then win the round and the map here. It's 2-1 now.
Yeah, and that's the dangerous part here on Freestyle. Those jumps are way harder than they seem to be. The players definitely make them look kind of easy, but they're incredibly difficult, and if you make a slight mistake or if you enter that ring checkpoint wrong, it can be incredibly difficult to get the jump.
Yeah, I watched Musa's review of his matches, and he basically summarized it like this. If you don't get the speed, it's GG. You can't finish.
Nope.
So it's very tough there, where honestly the hard part is setting yourself up for the identity just as much as driving the identity itself.
But now we have a map pick from Sinners. This should be Sinners map pick reps, right?
It is. I believe we have it correct now. Sinners picking reps here. They did do really well here against KC. Kappa, if you remember, had a lot of snipes, really having good consistency in the ending. And that is the scariest part of this map. The identity, the theme of this map is driving on tiny beams. They're barely wider than the car itself, and you need to balance at high speed against some of the world's fastest players on those beams in the ending.
An interesting stat here we can quickly look at. If we look at the median time, so the median time of all the players, Sinners, both the members of Sinners are actually doing better than the Solary players, and Carl Jr. looks to have the worst median of all the players that have played this map so far, and they might have looked into those stats when they picked this. Yeah,
they could have looked at it. There tends to be a lot of crashes here, and Carl and Pack also go for a very dangerous line where they go on the outside of this dirt turn. You're gonna see it here. Some players opt to go all the way. It looks like actually all the players opt to do that, so not just Carl and Pack anymore. But that saves about a tenth or two, and it also puts you at a great risk. Kappa here in 4th place has failed it, leaving Tween now in that 1v2 spot.
Yeah, now we head into this last left-hander and a loop before the identity. That's going to be a grass turnaround right here where you want to go down to 3rd gear, and then you will hold the 3rd gear in the downhill. Don't gear up while you're drifting because that will slow you down. And then now as they enter the identity, we have these jumps onto these very, very tiny beams. Tween needs to keep it packed with a mistake. Can Kappa come back? Maybe Carl Jr. attacking, actually overtaking in the ending. That was so close. What a great snipe coming in from Carl Jr.
Fully risked that beam. I think you heard you, Jnic. Heard you talking about the median stats. He's looking now to improve his average. 1:06 here, also a really good winning time. That's what we're looking for, the benchmark. And the world record on this map is all the way down at 1:06.5 by mine.
Yeah, that's incredibly fast, by the way, also driven during the tournament. So great to see Carl Jr. making sure that he's practiced the consistency here on reps. That ending is incredibly difficult, though. Those tiny, tiny beams you have to land on are just a little bit wider than the car itself. So very, very risky every single time you go for it.
This line really fascinates me, how they dare to leave that right back wheel so far up the slope and then push down with more speed. All 4 players getting it, but Carl almost onto the corners, leaving it very little space there between his wheels and the wall. And now it means that there is an opportunity for Sinners here They did choose this map, and they have an opportunity to make it worthwhile. Only need to pass Pack here for that ace, or have Pack make a mistake on the beams, which could very well happen. Carl, though, coming back into the frame. He is looking to have a say in this round as well. It's Tween in first place. It's Pack right behind. Kappa in third right now. The last beam's the scary one. Pack not quite with the speed, and he will actually snipe it as Tween hits the finish pole.
Oh, we've seen this happen multiple times. Hitting that finish pole is so unfortunate. But it can happen. It can happen to even the best players, as we see it happen right now there to Tween. But that gives the points to Solary. 4-2 coming in to this third round. It could still be both teams. Sinners are not that far behind.
Yeah, and I mean, think about it. I think most people had them at a 0-4 scoreline in this game. They are 2-1 still, and they're keeping up level with Solary in the first opening rounds of reps. So they have showed up, that's for sure. Can they actually win here, though? Kappa now doing a bit of an adaptation, thinking, okay, I'm not going to risk the round for 0.2 seconds in that outside line. Carl risking it, and he's going to lose even more. Sinners are in a better spot now because Kappa adapted his playstyle.
And now Pack is on the task. He has to deny Sinners these 3 points they get from the ace. Carl Jr. is not that far behind, though. He can still try to attack, but it's gonna be down to the identity. The identity takes away kind of a few players pretty often if they make just a slight mistake. As we jump into it right now, Kappa and Pack fighting for first and second. Pack is in the lead, but he makes a mistake. Ace. And now Kappa and Tween are looking for the ace. Are they gonna be able to do it? No! Tween! No, Kappa jumps off. They still get the 2 points, though. They still get the 2 points, but that could have been very dangerous for Solary if Sinners got that ace. Such an unfortunate ending there for Kappa.
Oh, very unfortunate. You have to go for that risky finish every time as well. Saves almost a second, but if you bounce off, it is the worst feeling, and they are now at a 5-4, but that was a great opportunity. I don't think Carl is going to have many more mistakes in the start here. And so opportunities like that will have to arise out of their pace. And now, dangerous spot, Kappa hitting the wall there in that uphill turn. That loses a lot because you have to grab the reset ring. You have to get rid of Fragile. It's going to cost him close to 3-4 seconds. And it means that it's all on Tween here.
Once again, it is so scary putting your teammate on the spot, telling him in the voice comms, you gotta get this, you gotta win right now, because I'm 3 seconds behind. It is all on you, brother, and it looks like Tween is ready to take on that task. Only Pack is ahead of him. Maybe he can just snipe it. He sees him right in front, just putting that pressure right here behind him. Maybe he can get that downhill. Just see if he gets that third gear. He has the third gear. He keeps it going into the identity. He's looking for Pack to make just one slight mistake so he can pounce on him. Maybe here in the last turn, this is so dangerous. Both of them getting it well. Will he make the jump?
Oh!
None of them make the jump. No, but where's Carl Jr.?
Carl failed as well. Carl failed as well. He's
driving slowly into the finish.
Oh my god, a heartbreak round for Sinners. Tween could have actually denied them there, but not only that, they could have even actually gotten points almost.
I mean,
Kappa nearly sniped Carl.
It is...
And Solary could have just as well gotten the ace, right? So it's very back and forth.
It is so difficult to know, like, predicting stuff like that or just casting stuff like that when you cannot. Like, that is so unnatural to see these pro players do. But when it happens, it's such a great show.
I think we just saw Pack with a small mistake in the start. Very inside line. Will not pay off. He has lower speed than the rest of the field. Into that outside dirt line now. Hitting the approach better than Carl and Tween. And getting himself back up in that fight together with Carl. Carl again missing this uphill approach. Is not getting the best speed out there. And all 4 players are side by side in what could be a decisive round. Solary 3 points away from getting to the 10 mark. Looking for them right now. Into the loop we go. Diagonal line by the players to get a little bit more speed. The identity is coming up. The beams are awaiting. We've seen how many rounds they've costed, how many points have been lost to those beams. Kappa too far behind. I think Tween has to make a heroic performance here, but he clips. Is this going to be it for Solary? If they both get that risky jump, they have it locked in, and they take map number 4 here. We are at a 2-2 scoreline.
We are at a 2-2. Solary winning reps, which was Sinner's map pick. So that's really great. Also, they underperformed reps the last few times we've seen Solary played. So great to see that they've put in the practice, they've put in the work to get consistent, get the pace, and it's paying off already.
It is really paying off. It started out a bit scary for them, but I think they're now feeling a lot more comfortable after those 2 maps. They go into the 5th map with momentum, and this is then a map that Solary chose.
Yes.
I think they've looked at this and seen Sinner's pace, but I thought this was a good map for Sinners. I think they played well here when we saw them in week 1.
I think so too. I'm just taking a look at the stats. Flip of Faith is once again an incredibly beautiful track to watch, as we have multiple barrel rolls. You're going to see one of them right here. They're going to go up on the half pipe and then do a barrel roll flip up to the next checkpoint. That is going to be a very crucial part of the map. The lower you jump, the faster you land. And the faster you land, the quicker you get to accelerate through the rest of the track.
I'm just thinking about the mapper who pitched this to the competition. Like, look, guys, I have it. We're going to build a map with barrel roll flips, and not just one. There's going to be 3, all right? And somehow getting it through, but it's beautiful that they did, because we get to witness it. The players here, they can master drifting turns, they can master ice, and they can also master the flips for the most part. But in this first round, Tween already with a big mistake. Carl also with a mistake, but surviving that flip.
And if there's somebody to look out for here, Pack has shown us he has the best median time, the best consistency, in other words, on this map. So hopefully he can show it once again today, where Pack already, as we see him now, half a second ahead of Team Sinners.
He is far ahead, actually, and even if he fails, Carl could still also win this round for the team. Very tough spot for Kappa. I think you just go for 2nd place. You don't really try to push for half a second in these flips. Just survive, try to keep Carl at bay, who's actually closer than we thought, but he did make a mistake, and the positions will remain here. Pack keeping that consistency going, winning the round. Kappa in 2nd, Carl getting 3rd here, and Tween getting 4th.
We also can't remember, or we can't forget, Kappa's performance last week on this map, where he had some beautiful snipes coming into the identity. He just showcased how low he's willing to go to get that 1st place if he's within, like, let's say 0.3, 0.4 of the person ahead of him.
Yeah, but I also think it's very mature there to recognize the chance I beat Pack in this ending by half a second, and if I fail, they ace us. It's very slim, right? So you kind of have to accept defeat there. Go again with your teammate in the next round and look to refocus. First quarter pipe jump up, great for the Sinners, and now that flip. Looking at Tween, trying to go as low as possible. Pack has it once again. Carl also up there with the speed, but we are seeing Pack really shine here.
Yeah, I mean, he has showed us that he has consistency that is unrivaled on this map at this point. And Carl Jr. is, honestly, he's going to play the supporting role. Trying to get that 2nd or that 3rd place consistently would be enough to put Solary far ahead of Sinners on this map. And now Tween and Kappa, they're fighting with Carl Jr.
The consistency is gone. Pack clipping in the corner, going upside down, leaving the round now in a reverse situation. It's Sinners looking for an ace, and Carl has to deny Kappa, who we know goes for these snipes. Kappa's gonna send this and try to get past Carl, but Carl also looking for 1st, very close to it. Tween, though, holding on and giving Sinners a round win.
Yeah, now the points are equalized, and just like that, I mean, it can be that fast. You go from having an ace opportunity to having to defend the opponents getting that ace.
Yeah, and just looking at the winning times here, they're around 104 high. That was Pack's consistency from the first 2 weeks. His median time, his average time, was 104.79. That's why we're talking about the statistic, but the world record is already 1 second faster than that again, at 103.8.
But we also gotta remember that world records are not driven in rounds format, like, very often.
Unless you're Gwen.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And Mime also, to be fair. But, yeah, the world records, they go for incredibly risky lines on these barrel rolls. Something that is so risky to do in rounds format, so we're probably not going to see that. Once again, these 104s are more than great for a rounds format. As we see, Carl Jr. and Pack, they're in the lead by quite a lot, and they're trying to look for this ace if they can do so. They're about 0.4 ahead of Kappa. Now, Kappa has tried to see if he can make up for this in the identity before, so maybe we're going to see some very risky moves. He's getting told by his teammate 100% now that he just has to full send it, because if he doesn't, they're going to lose the ace anyway, so he's going to jump super low.
Okay.
Look at that jump. Once again, he did land a little bit sideways, but Pack with a mistake, and now Kappa's going to be 2nd. That is truly important here, coming in for Team Sinners.
Might get 3rd despite a fail, because Pack failed twice. It's actually going to be a draw here. Something that we did not expect from how the round looked, but the match continues 4-4. They're dead even.
I mean, it's the identity giveth and the identity taketh away. This is incredibly difficult stuff that they're pulling off consistently here every round, round after round. So it is understandable that every once in a while you get just a little bit of a low flip or you land sideways or whatever. It happens to even the best of them. So as you can see, Pack, it happened to Pack, but now already he's going to be in the lead. Goes for a little bit of a higher jump, and Carl Jr. comes in from the back. Gets such a strong amount of velocity going out of that. The momentum he carries through that turn puts him 0.3 ahead of his opponent, Kappa, and Pack is right behind.
And sharing some good news right now, the name tags are back and working, so we do get to see them. Some issue there the last couple of days, but it's happy that we get to see just which player is which if you can't identify them by the car skins. Going into the entity, we have Carl half a second ahead. Both Sinners tied with Pack here. Best case is probably to get a draw at this point. Carl with that type of lead rarely ever loses it, but Pack is so strong in the flips here. Tween though with an amazing flip to at least deny an ace. What an ending in a 104.4 from Carl.
Yeah, that's an incredibly fast time, by the way. Talking about, like, he clipped his back left wheel on the last jump. I think he got a slowdown because of it. If he didn't do that, he could have gotten like a 104.1, which is incredibly fast for match times.
Yeah, Tween literally gained 4/10 in the last two flips to Carl with his lines. That was amazing.
That's incredible.
6-5 now. We're approaching that 10 mark, but we won't get there yet. No track points in sight, as we do see Pack alone in first, but Carl has disappeared from the frame of view. Carl has respawned, and this is such a big mistake to make that early on in the round. You put so much pressure on your teammate for the next minute of driving, and Sinners are communicating this. They're probably going to send Kappa here on the hunt to just get past Pack and equalize the match.
And as we have seen, Pack is not invincible. He has made mistakes in the ending as well, and Kappa, we've seen him snipe the ending multiple times in the last week, so let's see if we can do it again. Both of them are going to send it. They have 8 seconds to work with here in the ending, so they're just going to try to go as low as possible. Pack gets the first jump beautifully. Is he going to get the second one? It does look like he gets it. Tween almost with the overtake, not quite getting it, but what an incredible attempt coming in from Tween.
Oh, 1/100th of a second. That is the margins we're working with. Can't even blink in that amount of time, but Pack able to beat Tween just barely and secure a draw. He held the fort when Carl failed, and as we reset the round, they are at track point now. An ace would bring them to a win.
But I mean, looking at just the pure stats going into this map, Sinners are doing incredibly well versus Solary right now. Pack has unrivaled pace and consistency on this map, but still Sinners are only 1 point behind, and right now Tween is on first.
Yeah, it makes me very happy to see the Sinners here coming back from that first week. Often if you get crushed, it's not really that fun, and I think they're showing here that, you know, we are not a team to be messed around with. We could beat a lot of teams with the pace that we're driving here against Solary. But Solary, they are the favorite going into the season. They have the most world champion titles on one team, 6 in total. And I mean, they're showing as well on this map that even though the map styles are changing ever in the competition, they can do whatever the organizers throw at them here. Pack again consistent on that first flip. Beautiful low line. Could this be the ace for Solary? Tween has to deny Carl. Carl bouncing out, and I think we will not have a draw. It is a win for Solary, putting them at 9 points.
9 points. But Sinners, they put themselves up to 7, so technically, I mean, if we had to argue, Sinners could still take it home with an ace. It is not impossible. They're not out of the match yet. This next round is the decider.
This is the decider round. The match will conclude here no matter what, actually. So let's take a look and see who wins map 3. Flip of Faith. Get some hype in the chat for the team you are rooting for. This could decide the momentum going into map 6 and also the match as a whole. Pack and Carl with the best start. Tween and Kappa going wide on that first flip. Tween, I think, landed it, heard the engine, but it is quite far behind. Kappa further behind that again, half a second lost to the first barrel roll. That is a lot to catch up to in the ending.
And now Pack and Carl Jr., they have a great lead to Tween, the first player on Team Sinners here. About 0.2, 0.3 of a lead, and they're fighting each other here for the first place. But Tween with such a great grass line coming all the way up to Pack. Maybe Solary just saved it a little bit too much, and now Tween on the attack. Will he get the low line? Carl Jr. Pack going really low. Kappa is here in the back. Tween needs to try to see if he can get this snipe. He's not going to be able to, and Solary close it out with an ace.
Yeah, great last round there, dominating the clutch round and getting a 12-7 win. They started 2 maps down. Now they've won 3 maps back-to-back, and they only need 1 more to win the match. And we are going to map number 6.
Yeah, this is this next map is gonna be super interesting to see because it might be the decider. But here we have a replay where Pack makes some big mistake and Sly not getting that ace, unfortunately. These replays, by the way, are courtesy of our production team, so if we can have some love for them in the chat, that would be amazing.
Yeah, they're doing great. They're giving us the live highlights. You're also going to see these, I think, in many top 10 rounds, top 10 clutches compilations in the weeks to come, as people are producing a lot of content around the league now. It's amazing to see just the entire infrastructure, you know, coming up together around these great matches.
But as we say this, we are going into Agility Dash. We've talked about this. Carl Jr. on paper is actually the slowest player on this map. Not in terms of PB, but in terms of consistency.
Yeah, I think Sinners made a really good call with this map. On paper, it makes sense. It's one of the toughest maps to survive, and they're going for consistency. They're trying to put Pack and Carl a bit off their game. This map has a lot of things that suit them. A lot of technical driving with drifts, with jumps, but it also has one of the toughest identity obstacle sections.
Yeah, the identity is not the most flashy. They're gonna be jumping from side to side here on some plastic. We're gonna be seeing it in just a second. Oh, Carl Jr. with a mistake. And now Pack is alone against the entirety of Team Sinners and has to see if he can get that first place going in. We're gonna see Kappa actually opt to not speed slide that turn. He's gonna lose some speed against Pack and Tween, and now Pack and Tween are gonna be alone in the lead.
This is Pack's element. These turns right here, he really shines at, always able to get a bit of a lead coming out of the 4 or 5 tech turns in a row. But Tween is a previous world champion finalist in the technical style. He's keeping up with Pack, but you can see that small lead starting to accrue little by little before the identity, as we mentioned. The obstacle part here, going into it, you need a lot of speed. You need to land on this side, then jump up to the top and immediately drop down into the checkpoint, followed by several jumps. Tween, though, looking for the win here against Pack in the identity. Low line to do it by a half a car length, 100th, and a beautiful 128.8 to start.
That was a great identity by both Tween and Pack, like really showcasing how you're supposed to do that identity perfectly. Both of them getting just every single jump low, making sure that they don't clip anything. Great showcase. Yeah,
it's a great time too. 128.5 is the current world record, and we saw 128.8 already in the first round. It's the longest map in the map pack. You have to drive for, well, you know, 1.5 minutes without making mistakes, and they're driving within 3/10 of the record. Tween with a mistake, 1 versus 2. Kappa, the man to try to hold on and at least deny the ace. But if he gets the speed slide section better here, I think he has a great chance at keeping up.
But last time, Kappa actually went for a no slide here on the ending, and Pack going a little bit more inside, getting that slide. See, Kappa once again canceling that slide, making sure he doesn't get a speed slide. That's going to slow him down quite a bit, but once again, it might be for that consistency. Carl Jr. is not too far behind either, but Kappa is going to try to see if he can snipe Pack and try to make this round a draw, as Tween is a second behind.
Yeah, a second before the identity. Even if you want to save this identity, it's very hard to do so. You kind of have to go for the risky lines that you do because you're so trained at doing specifically that. We're going into it now. Pack's lost the lead. Carl coming up right now next to Kappa, and we'll see the jumps. Can they nail them? The first one, Carl releasing a lot immediately, trying to hold on, I think, trying to not crash any corner. It will remain the positions here. Pack ahead of Kappa, Carl, and Tween finishing 4th, but no one crashing so far in that identity.
That's very nice to see. This is one of the identities that we, in the first couple of weeks, saw a lot of crashes on. This and parkour, both of them were devastating identities, so the players, they have upped their game, sat down and practiced these parts of the maps to an incredible extent.
Yeah, inside lines there in the start from the Sinners. Wide for Solary, barely surviving that drop down to the platform road. Going into the dirt now. This is where Tween made a mistake. What he tried to do was get a low jump on that dirt corner again, going for it, but Pack and Carl getting it the best, landing earlier, building speed into this drop down into the plastic. We will see them level out quite a lot here, but Carl losing ground before the speed slide part. What we're talking about here is that if you overlap the skid marks behind the car at a very specific angle, you gain more speed by doing so. You accelerate faster. That's why Carl here catches up to Tween, gets a better speed slide, but Pack has excelled so far in front, and the checkpoints are fast. This is pushing towards that world record pace.
And it would be incredible and not really that surprising if Pack was the one to get it, but Kappa is sneaking up into him as we get into this final jump. Left and right before the identity here. Kappa and Tween getting closer and closer, going for those low lines, but Pack still maintaining a healthy point to lead to his opponents. Let's see if he can maintain that during this last section here. Kappa getting a little bit closer, all of them getting the jumps. No mistakes so far. Pack making it look so clean, and he just needs 2 more jumps into the finish. Oh, almost missing it, but maintains the lead, and there you go. That's gonna be a draw.
That is the best round I've seen on this map in the first 3 weeks total, and it is just a draw. Crazy performance from all 4, and we go now into the next round. I mean, you can tell, like, you play for that long, you play so consistently, so sharply, and it's like, oh, draw. Okay, well, go again, try to find some opening. If you put your opponents under enough pressure, you will hopefully start to see some cracks. Some mistake is all you need to see to try to guarantee points, and then you have to make those moments work.
You're exactly right. You need to identify just one small hole in the armor, and then you just gotta poke through it, and that's what Sinners are trying to do right now, as Tween is in the lead, trying to fight Pack, and Kappa also getting all the way up close. Let's see here if Kappa's no-slide line is gonna help him a little bit here. No, he does not get the speed. Tween and Pack will extend their lead against him, but Pack and Tween, both of them once again in the lead. We'll see if they can get that pace down once again.
I love that wide setup into the uphill drifts, though. From him, Tween having to let off the accelerator almost into the flagpoles there. His teammate catching up to him now. It's again going to be a pretty equal round going into the last part, the knife edge transitions here. We see low airtime from Tween. Beautiful double combo wide there for the setup. Try to jump across the grass, not get that much penalty grass. Pack is leading Carl 2 seconds behind. He has made a mistake. Pack has made a mistake.
Oh my God.
That is an ace waiting to happen. Are they going to identify it in
2
time
seconds.
and not risk the last part? Sinners getting an ace, going up to 7-4.
That is incredibly important for Team Sinners, and
the dent in the armor.
The dent in the armor, and we knew it, and they knew it. The dent in the armor is the identity, and just how difficult it is to do it consistently. They know that Carl Jr. did not have consistency here last time he played it. They were hoping that that was the dent that they could capitalize on, and they're doing it right now.
They picked it specifically for that reason, and they're making it work. Very nice showcase, but we also know the same consistency can be seen from Carl and Pack. Historically, they are the 2 most consistent players in the world. They rarely make these mistakes ever, and just the same can happen if Sinners have one moment where they don't focus, one moment where they slip up and do the wrong line. That is where Solary will just do the same right back to them.
Exactly. But Tween and Kappa once again fighting for first. Carl Jr., we see him in the back here. We've seen him in the back quite a lot here on Agility Dash, and it's been up to Pack to make sure that his team doesn't lose too many points. What a beautiful speed slide coming in from Pack. Love to see it. 630 speed going into that loop, and now Pack and Tween once again fighting for that first and second place. But Sinners are okay with draws. They're okay with victories. They will see if they can just maintain a first and second place, because if they continue to do so, they will be taking home this map and making it to map 7.
What a battle for first right now. Valiantly fought by both players. Pack getting this full speed line into the identity. Carl's there to join him. They could actually ace right back. Tween, the last defense right now, needs to hold on against Carl. Carl making a mistake. Carl having to release even. Kappa making a big mistake. He's out of it, but Tween will at least. He won't actually. Pack missed the finish. Pack had to respawn.
This could give 2 points to Team Sinners, and they could jump up to 9 here. No, Pack will remain ahead. Did not quite lose those 8 seconds, but my God, that was scary coming in from Pack.
Oh, and how the tables could turn there. If they lose that round and it's 9 points for Sinners, that would be disaster. Here at 8-5, they still have a chance, but they can't afford any further mistakes. They need to be clean from here on out, and that is very unfortunate for Kappa. Tween, though, we've seen his pace here. We know he can defend in situations like this, but very tough with losing the gear in that drift. Setting up wide to compensate. Actually, great optimization there in the moment. But can he land this jump? That looks so tilted. Oh, he gets the grip still. Very good fight here from Tween to try to hold on.
This looks more risky than it has to be. Tween making some incredible adjustments last second there to make sure that he doesn't get the slowdown or anything. And now Pack is the only person in the lead. Tween has been able to keep up with Pack's pace on this map throughout the entirety of the map up until the identity. But right now, he is losing ground. He's about 0.2 behind. As we see them go into this slower, more drifty section, Tween is trying to push the inside line here. Call Jr. getting really close. If they get that ace, that's starting to look really scary.
Yeah, Call Jr. now knows what's at stake. He needs to pass Tween here. An ace would do Solary so well. Could basically put them at match point overall, but he hits the light pole. Tween passes Pack right before the identity. Will he hold on to that? The first jump is better for Pack. More speed, better setup for this line. Pack taking over that lead now, but he misses a little bit on that line. It's still going to be Pack taking this round, redeeming himself from the mistake previously, and we go to 9-7.
I mean, once again, we saw that coming in from Tween. He actually had a line that would probably make most people crash, but he recognized it early, released the accelerator, and made sure that he didn't fall off the platforms.
And this is a decisive round. Whenever you see 7-9, it will be the last round of the map here, regardless of what happens. Solary, if they win it, they win the entire match. Sinners, if they win it, we go to map 7 in a game I think most people predicted would be a 4-0 sweep. Sinners are fighting so strong here against one of the top teams in the league, and they could make that underdog story happen, but they must get at least 1 point this round. That is passing one of the Solary players. That's all they need to do. Tween right now doing it for his team.
As long as Tween and Kappa are not in 3rd and 4th place, they will win this, and they will put it to map 7. Pack, once again, in a strong lead. He has shown just an incredible pace on this map. Kappa here on 4th, but nobody with any major mistakes. Called Jr. trying to overtake Tween. What we need to see is we need to see Solary, both teammates, Pack and Call Jr. on 1st and 2nd, so Call Jr. needs to overtake Tween, and Tween makes a mistake, just touching that checkpoint a little bit, and now we're gonna see if he can hold on to this lead for the entirety of the identity, almost making a mistake. Call Jr. saving it just a little bit. We need to see Sinners overtake at least one person. Is the consistency there for Team Solary now as we go into the identity? The first jump, the second jump, Tween trying to push it, making a mistake. Call Jr. and Pack in the lead. Can they close it out right now? Kappa trying to push, but he's not gonna make it. And there goes Team Solary getting this map down and the 4 maps for the match point.
Oh my God, a heartbreaking round for Sinners, but Solary clutching up when they had to. From a 7-9, they get the map, avoid map 7, and get what was, I think, an expected win for them, but they did not make it easy here, Sinners. They made them work for it to the line, really.